All right. So I'm so excited. We have Jordan here with us tonight. Some of you guys may remember her. We had her on our Zoom maybe about a year ago now, honestly. But she's the best. We have just kind of connected more since then, gotten to know each other a little bit better. And I honestly just think that you're like the cutest person ever. I follow your Instagram stories all the time. And like I said, I'm like, I feel like I should be working my own business, but I'm like following Jordan's life, which is a good thing because that's what we want. And like, if Jordan is engaging me through her Instagram and her stories, you know, I just can only imagine, how you're engaging with your audience that isn't me, and already a distributor. And that, like I said, that's ultimately what we want. Like, we want people so curious that when they see your little bubble pop up on their stories, then they're like, oh, I want to see what she's doing now. So anyways, before we dive into like the Instagram stories and all that great stuff, why don't you just introduce yourself, tell us about you, how you got started, and just your success story from here.
Yeah. Okay. So I joined It Works about 3.5 years ago. I was in college. A little backstory: I actually lost my dad to cancer, and I never really did the college life because I was always at home with my mom and my dad. I didn't want to miss a second, and so, which was crazy because I worked so much during that time in school. Like, I really barely saw them anyways, but I never got to do the whole college life thing. I went to community college and I wanted to be a teacher. So stayed home, and my dad passed, and it was about a year after. I was like, Mom, I have to go to school. Like, I have to get this done because I was working so hard and barely making anything. And so I ended up moving, going to college. I took a credit card with me, y'all. Like, that's all. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. I had a $4,000 credit card limit. And I was like, let's do this. Like, let's just charge everything. So I basically started this new life going into debt. Like, what on earth? And you know what's even sadder, y'all? I was like, my mom was like, this is what we do. You build credit. I was like, okay. So swipe, rent, gas, everything. I was donating plasma, got a job there. Don't even know how that happened. God knew I was going to be struggling. And so he landed that in my lap. And that was my, like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. I got a big girl job as a plasma technician, sticking people with needles, taking their plasma, things like that. And no, I was still broke and had this huge credit card debt. So obviously saw this girl posting on social media, and I was like, okay. Crazy. I actually tried to rap 3 years before that, and she never reached out to me. So I knew the raps were great, and I knew the defining gel is great. So a little backstory: if you have a loyal customer, you better ask them to do this business with you. So join the business. I will be real. I didn't see the vision. I was like $50 because that was what gas cost for me for a month. And my mom just kept giving me gas money. And I just felt so icky. I was like, why am I 22 years old and I can't even put gas in my car? I could barely keep my account above $10. It was ridiculous. And I had a good job, y'all, making like $14 an hour. And that doesn't sound like a lot now that I make this, but back then as a college student, $14 an hour was bomb. And so very stressed out. And there was something about this business that I knew I needed to do it, but I never understood what it was. And there's a $10,000 bonus on the line. And I was like, I'm going to freaking do this. Didn't do it. And I missed it. And I was so upset. But what's crazy is I ended up going Ruby in that time frame of me trying to go Diamond. I went Ruby in 9 months. And, that was like my first. My dog is freaking out right now. I don't know what his deal is. Clearly, I'm a dog mom. I'm repping him today. Get your toy, please. Get your toy. I'm practicing for when I become a mom. Redirection. But anyways, I went Ruby in 9 months and it changed my life. And what I didn't know is that, yes, I was so defeated that I didn't hit Diamond when I wanted to, but God had bigger plans. And I actually went Diamond for 3 months later and earned the $10,000 bonus because they brought it back. But I also went double the very next month and earned 30 on top of that, $40,000 bonuses in my first year. And I knew I was meant to be here, And so, 10 months later, I went triple, and I've been pushing for Prez ever since. And so, it's crazy because we have moments in our business where we're like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this? And that actually was the very beginning of my business. And I'm so thankful that I did not promote quick. Because if I would have promoted quick, I don't think I really would have had to work very hard, and I wouldn't have known what it meant to work hard and feel deserving of the ranks that I've hit. And so what this business allowed me to do though is like I own this beautiful apartment. I'm able to stay home with my dog. I travel. I've taken 9 and I'm about to take my 10th trip this year paid by It Works. And when you think about that, that's like a trip a month. That's insane. And I actually spent 1 month where my friend from out of state came and stayed with me. I had 2 friends come stay out of state with me for a week each month, you know, and it's just like the amount of freedom I have, y'all, is insane, you know? And so yes, money is great. I love not having to be stressed about money, but waking up every day and being like, I own this, I own my day. I get to, like, we were joking about time when we get up in the morning. The fact that I even get to choose that is such a blessing. And that's honestly what It Works has given me most, is just my freedom of time. And being able to say yes to things that I want to say yes to, and being able to say no to things that I definitely want to say no to. So that's me.
I love that. And I think that we are both like so similar, and our stories are really similar as well. And yeah, I think that that's the biggest blessing that this business has provided for me as well, is that freedom of time, you know, freedom to get to choose and design your days. I recently went through something in my life that, you know, just kind of, you know, I just had to take a step back for a minute. But during that, you know, I knew I had this residual income, and I had the freedom of time through that. You know, I didn't have to go to work and clock into a 9 to 5. I was able to take that time for my mental health real quick. And, you know, just get through it maybe a little bit quicker than if I was forced to go to a 9 to 5 and have to deal with that on top of it. So the freedom of time is just such a blessing. And this is like the perfect transition into what we're going to talk about. Because like I said, I love watching your stories, and you really do an amazing job on there of sharing that freedom of time, especially as somebody who doesn't have kids. And I hear this a lot from people on my team that often say things like, I don't know what to post because I don't have kids, or, you know, I don't know how to like share, you know, what this business or my why in this business because I don't have kids. And I think that you do a fantastic job of that. And sometimes I'm like envious. I'm like, I wish I didn't have kids so I could do what she's doing.
Oh, man.
So what, the thing I really like about your stories is, you know, we all use them, I think, for the most part, and It Works if we're using social media, but a lot of people will just kind of like screenshot or do like kind of graphics that they make on Over or one of those Unfold apps. But you really, I think, just take it to the next level. So how are you doing that? And what, like, you know, how are you just kind of implementing that into your day so seamlessly?
So I'll be real, like, I will be the first to tell you that I'm one of those that like looks at everyone else's stories too. And I'm like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, that looks cute. Oh, I need to do that. Okay, maybe I should try that. Like I watch Cheyenne Knox's stories all the time. And like, I'm like, oh my God, where'd they come up with these cute little people now? Now they got like cute little people that like hold mugs. And I'm like, I swear, I feel like there's something new coming out on Instagram stories every day. And I can't keep up. It stresses me out. And I'm like, you know what? Like, if you are good like that and you like love searching and like finding new things like that's great. But at the end of the day, an average person does not know what Over app is. They don't know how to make a template for a product. And I just kind of had an aha moment, and I was like, yes, I still make some cute templates just because it does catch their attention, because it's not what they're used to seeing all the time. And I think that's the point. But also at the end of the day, it's also could be bad, because when they see your template, they're going to be like, tap, 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 because they already know. So you have to switch it up. You can't just copy and paste templates every day, y'all. You might get a hit off one, but if I go to your Instagram and I just see 3 templates for HSN, 3 templates to join your business, 3 templates to, you know, be financially free. And like, you know, it's just, people are not, they're going to be very uninterested and they're going to unfollow you. And so something that I told myself was, first of all, I limit myself to 1 to 2 templates a day, like sets. So if I'm going to do like HSN or something, I could do a template that's like crazy and fun. But I'm not going to blow up my Insta story with that. I use my Insta story like Snapchat. Actually, everything I do on my Insta story, I actually created on Snapchat and just saved it. You don't have to have Snapchat. I have a little thing going where I add every single one of my potentials on Snapchat because I get to see who they really are and they get to see who I really am, because people put the real stuff on Snapchat.
I don't even like have Snapchat, so I'm
Okay, well,
I think I'm too old for that.
Oh, well, it's like they're all cute Instagram models on Instagram, and then they're like, on Snapchat. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Like two completely different people. So like I like to add people though, because I'm able to interact in a more personal way because they are being their real self. They don't see me as like this Instagram influencer. They see me as like Jordan Molinax on Snapchat, you know? So anyways, if you guys use Snapchat, you could totally start doing that. But back to Instagram stories. So I started just telling myself, I want to show my face. They need to see me, and they're going to see all the craziness that goes through my mind and my life. And It Works will only be about, I probably would say It Works is about 30 to 40%. And you can even take it down a notch if you wanted. I'm just obsessed with It Works, if I'm being honest. So like I catch myself being excited to post It Works content, and that's fine. That's who I am. But I make sure that if I am super passionate that day and I'm like, go celery, go coffee, go thermophyte, join my team, I have to be putting twice as much content out that's not It Works. Meaning I need to be putting quotes up. I need to be showing my dog. I need to show that I'm at the gym. I need to show whatever. Like I have to double the content of It Works of myself. And it was challenging because I don't have kids. And I was like, I mean, her explaining, like I used to say, I need to get pregnant. I need to find me a boyfriend and I need them to get me pregnant because I need an algorithm boost. Like this is crazy. I'm just kidding. I would never, that's not why you have kids. But I was like, maybe it's either get a puppy or get a baby. I need one or the other. So I always joke around like, give me your baby. I need a picture. Like, give me your child. But it's so true because I don't know why people are just drawn to that. So use your kids, but don't always, change it up a little bit. I don't know if y'all know who she is, but Savannah McBroom, her Instagram, I think is like the Everyday Chaos or something. She's my upline. Her kids, she'll literally interview her daughter, and her daughter will be talking on Instagram like it's her channel or like her feed, and it's so funny. It's hilarious, and so if you have kids who can talk, let them talk. It's hilarious. Kids are great. And so don't let that, like if you have kids, use it. But if you don't, you got to get creative. And so I honestly don't remember the question, but basically I just show my life every single day. I don't care if my life is boring. I'm surprised you think that you like my stuff because I'm like, I don't do anything all day. Like I showered today. That was a win for me, So it was like, I don't know. Like I posted that I straightened my hair for the first time.
Right. Like, I think like that's the thing with you though. Like you're literally just like, if I'm doing anything, I'm kind of documenting it to let people in because that's what people want. Like people, they getting, maybe they get interested from the feed because the feed looks perfect. It's kind of the highlight reel. But then when you're giving them the behind the scenes, that's when you're gaining that trust. That's when you're building relationships. And you really do a phenomenal job of documenting those, just everyday real moments. Like you said, like taking a shower, straightening your hair. And I remember I was just laying in bed one day watching you, and it was so funny because you're like, it is like so nice out today. And you just like made fun of yourself. You're like, I'm such a basic white girl.
It's so true. And honestly, I didn't even realize till after I recorded it. I was like, I should probably redo that. And I was like, honestly, the amount of girls who sound like this on the daily, like I'm just gonna call it out what it is. Because it is. It's true. I say like seriously.
But like that's how simple you guys like have to make it. Like I said, you just do a good job of that. Like you literally walked outside and recorded yourself talking about the weather. Like that is so simple, but it was so funny. It was so engaging. And it made me want to listen and watch more of your stories because I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Like what else does she have to say? And like, that's the whole, point to doing this, to build those relationships.
I have a tip for this. This is something that I've realized. I'm trying to learn more about being a child. Something that I've really realized is that like, how they always say brand yourself, and you're like, okay, what does that mean? Like, how do you brand yourself? Like, I don't know what my brand would be. Like, I don't even know. But what I do know is that I can tell people what I want them to brand me as. So there's like this thing going on, like everyone tags me in Lizzo stuff. And it all happened because I don't know why, but I become a different person when she sings her songs. And like, I don't dance very often, but I will get down to her. And like, I started working out to her. Every single one of my Insta stories had her songs on it. And I was like, Jordan, you need to chill. Like you are going a little overboard. But it was so funny because people started, like, okay, when I say people, one person noticed. So what I did was I told Instagram, I went on Facebook and Instagram and I said, I love that all of you guys are tagging me in Lizzo stuff. I like told Instagram that people were branding me with Lizzo. And now, and I just started making that a thing. And now people, when they hear the song, they think of me. Y'all, and Lizzo is so big right now. So if I can get them to connect me to an artist that you're obsessed with, y'all, that's the easiest thing because those artists play all the time. Then they think of me. Then they go make an Insta story and tag me. And then all their friends are like, well, why is this girl obsessed with Lizzo? Like, let me go check her out. You know, and so like one of my girls on my team, her boyfriend was singing Lizzo in the shower. And so she videoed it and tagged me, you know, and it's like, that's insane to me because I was like, I just told my audience that people associate me with Lizzo, whether in my audience, it was one person.
Yeah. And then exactly what you're saying is so true because I noticed that like a lot of people do this and I even do this for just the simplest things. And when you're telling your audience that other people are tagging you and stuff or like you for whatever reason, then they feel left out. They're like, ooh, I want to be best friends with Jordan because look at all these other people that are like connecting with Jordan on this. And I notice I do this sometimes with things like if I just want to like share like what hair straightener I use, I'll be like, tons of you guys have been DMing me about what hair straightener I use. Nobody's DMing me about what hair straightener I've used. Like, but then they're like, they'll engage on that and be like, oh my gosh, I was wondering, you know, just because you're kind of like subconsciously telling them to be your friend. Like, it's so weird how, like, you know, the mind and brain works that way. But that is
you can also say stuff like, I've done this before where I'm like, I'm sure all of you guys are wondering like where I got this dog sweatshirt. Like I already know you guys are wondering where I got it. So I'm just going to tell you, like, you can just play it off like who wouldn't want to know,
right? Whether
that's an It Works post or whether it's a straightener,
right? And you're kind of giving yourself popularity through that, like you're, like you said, like you're branding yourself. You're telling your viewers that other people are interested in you and your life by saying those words. And so then they're going to want to engage with you more because they're going to say, wait a second, like there are all these people following what Hannah's doing or what Jordan's doing. Like maybe I should pay closer attention because she is some kind of like, you know, brand influencer on Instagram and Facebook.
Exactly.
So it really like, you know, it really is super helpful. Something else that I love that you do, and you're really good at this too, is like you were saying, you'll do the videos like of you talking and, you know, whatever, or just, you know, just all that cute life stuff. And then you'll randomly slide in the business and the products. Like you did one last night, or maybe it was 2 nights ago when the TFX BOGO ended. And you're like, hey, like, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and let you guys know that the TFX BOGO ends in an hour. And the way you did it was like, you were just talking to your best friend. Like you didn't like get on and try to, you know, educate in a way that sounded so professional. You were so casual. And I was like, whoa, if I was a potential, like I would order because you just seamlessly talked to me like you were my best friend.
That's something that, like I said, I've learned by mistake because I used to post those templates all the time. And I was like, I like them. They're cute. Like they're fun for us, you know, but when you really think about what Instagram is, they want to hear you. And I like, don't get me wrong, I do those. I still post those templates, but sometimes you just need to get out there and just put your face on the camera. I show my face every single day. I have never, ever, ever not shown my face on my Insta story since it came out. Like I have always done that. And I think that's why people, like she's saying, like, if you aren't doing that, they don't know who I am. And the fact that I'm sitting in my car and just like, hey y'all, like it's about to be in. You guys got to message me right now if you want this. They're like, oh, okay. Like, but if I just did a template, they don't even know who's offering it. and they could be watching 5 other It Works people, and they don't know who actually is sharing that content. So sharing my face has been a game changer for me, but also like talk as if you're talking to your friend, because we're not salespeople, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're people sharing a product that we love. And if you can get into that mindset, you're going to talk about the products in such a different way. Like, I don't sit here and I'm like, this coffee is amazing. It burns fat. It's 100 calories. Like, I might put that on a template, but if I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh, this coffee is bomb. I drink it twice a day. Like, if you want some good focus, like, you need this, because that's how I talk. And they trust you. When you sound like a robot, they will not trust you. They're going to be like, she just wants my money. And
Yeah.
that's not what we're about.
The way you talked about the TFX the other night, I've never like heard somebody explain it like that. And I was like, wow, like that made me want to like go and take my TFX. Like, it was really good. And this kind of slides into the no excuses mindset that I want to talk to you on as well. And one of the things that I want to bring up, and again, like, cutest thing ever, she's in her stories the other day is at Chick-fil-A with her friends, and she gets like sauce on her sweatshirt. She didn't decide at that point, like, I'm not going to do an Instagram video or a live or whatever because I'm dirty and have this on my sweatshirt. She's just like, no excuses. Like, I'm going to do my little TFX, or talking to the camera, whatever, and put it on my Instagram stories, despite the fact that I have sauce all over my white sweater. Like, again, such a good mindset, and like no excuses. And then you just like made fun of yourself for it. Again, engaging your audience. So anyways, with that, do you want to just talk a little bit on having a no excuses mindset and what things have happened to you through your business at any point? This could be in the beginning, this could be now, that you have worked through, and that this business has been a blessing through those things.
So I want to say something really quick. The no excuses thing comes from confidence, y'all. Like, the whole sauce thing, obviously, like, that might seem so small and you're like, well, duh. Like, it's just some sauce. But like, I have now started showing my transformation of my body. Like, I have no six pack, y'all. And I'm starting to show people more of that because like they want to relate to you. And whenever you start thinking that people are judging you, honestly, a lot of people judge themselves way more than they will judge you. Mm-hmm. Like, internally. And so when I'm coming out and I'm like, I see 2 abs under the fluff right now, like, people relate to that. I had so many people reach out and they're like, I do too. Like, we're doing this, and it's like, you got to be 100% okay with yourself. And whenever this business gave me that, I was very insecure. I actually lost 55 pounds before this business. Gained it all back right before the business, and then started losing it again. And so for someone who's been bigger to smaller to now bigger to having to do it again, it messes with you. You're like, oh, well, if you lose it all, you're just going to gain it back. Like, your insecurities and your confidence is just shot. And something that this business taught me was like, for me to have that no excuses and to really truly post without a fear of anyone's judgment came with self-development and working on myself. Like, I'm posting pictures of my stomach, and it's not a picture, it's a video. You can't hide it in a video. Like, I can't edit that, And so I had to really, truly be okay with myself. And I can't give you any tip other than to really tell yourself that it does not matter. Whatever insecurities you have, someone else has those same insecurities plus 10 more. And you coming out and being loud about them is going to make them feel better about them too. They're going to be like, this girl's out here doing this, showing everyone, like, why am I caring about it? And so that was my little tip about the no excuses too. But
can I just interrupt you real quick there, real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, but that was so good and so perfect. And I actually just came across this quote the other day. And it's basically exactly what you said. And it's so true. You said something in there, like, people really aren't thinking about you that much. And I saw this and it just really reminded me of that. And this is kind of long, but I really want to read it. It says, nobody's thinking about you. Long ago, when I was in my insecure 20s, I met a clever, independent, creative, and powerful woman in her mid-70s who offered me a superb piece of life wisdom. She said, we all spend our 20s and 30s trying so hard to be perfect because we're so worried about what people will think of us. Then we get into our 40s and 50s and we finally start to be free because we decided that we didn't give a damn what anybody else thinks of us. But you won't be completely free until you reach your 60s and 70s, when you finally realize this liberating truth. Nobody was ever thinking about you anyhow. They aren't, they weren't, and they never were. People are mostly just thinking about themselves. People don't have time to worry about what you're doing or how well you're doing, because they're caught up in their own drama. People's attention may be drawn to you for a moment, but that attention will soon enough go right back to them. So just so true. So like, again, just stop worrying about being perfect or what somebody's going to think of you if you slip up wrong and say something wrong on a live or on a Zoom or talking to a PDT on a phone. Like, who cares? It makes you real, and they're not even going to remember if you said the wrong thing, because as we know, you can never say the wrong thing to the right people.
Yeah. And honestly, if they do say something to you, like, they can't hurt you if it doesn't hurt you. Like, I've had a lot of people call me fat, and it's like, it hurts me because I'm like, actually, like, I'm not. Like, the fact that I know my self-worth, and I'm like, it's sad that you would say that, but it's even sadder because I'm like, something must be going on with you for you to say that, and it actually turns the tables where I'm like, what's going on in your life, girlfriend? Like, if you want to come out to me with hate. And so I just want you guys to know that, like, if you are 100% okay with you, you are so freaking unstoppable. Like, whenever I started being okay with my body, and like, it took a lot. I'm not going to just say I changed overnight. I did a lot of self-development. I had to start doing things that were right in my life, like the gym and eating right. It didn't like transform overnight, but it gave me more confidence. So there are some action steps to having more confidence in your life, whether that be with whatever insecurity you have or you think that you have. But when you start doing those things, you literally become a different person. And when you can be 100% confident in yourself, you really see, I know it sounds stupid or like cliche, but you'll change the world. You're going to change so many lives. I have girls reach out to me all the time, and they're like, seriously, just watching you like makes me want to go to the gym. And I'm like, really? Oh my God, yes, go. Like, because I hate the gym. I talk about how I hate the gym every day, but they see me doing the same dang picture in the same mirror, with the same girl, showing that I'm showing up for myself. And like, that's what this world needs more of, is people showing up for themselves and being loud about it. And that is what this company is all about. So it's like, congratulations. You're now in a society that is going to teach people to live better lives. And you have to get loud about it. When you go live, you don't have to pick yourself apart. You don't have to be like, oh, sorry, my double chin. Oh, sorry, don't look at my pimple. Like, don't even worry about no one. Honestly, half the time I've realized that when I start calling stuff out about myself, I still do it. That's when you draw attention to it. People are like, okay, but you got to just tell yourself, like, people don't care. Your words and your heart matter way more than what your body looks like on the outside, which is mostly our insecurities. I have the worst grammar in the world, y'all. Like, I would never, ever, ever be able to go back to college because they're going to tell me to write an essay or something. And they would literally fail me because I don't understand. I say striped. I think striped is a word. Like, there's just things in my vocabulary. Like, my mom is so ashamed. Like, but that's who I am, y'all. And like, if someone could make fun of me, like, the girl's so uneducated, and I'm like, there's facts, So it's like, own it. Just own it. When you own those things, like, it doesn't hurt you as bad. So yeah, anyways, like, having that no excuse kind of mentality really just being 100% with yourself, and that no one else's opinion matters other than your own. And if you can love yourself every day, you are going to be shocked on what you're capable of. Cause that's when I started getting excited. And I think my Insta stories have transformed a little bit more of who I truly am, because y'all, I cry on my Insta stories. Every time I'm crying, I'm like, where's my camera? I got to show it, because I want people to know that, like, they're not alone when they cry. I cry in the voice, y'all. Someone sings good and they get a 4-cheer turn, and I'm crying. And I'm like, why is this my life? But I show that because I know there's someone out there that does that too, and they will reach out. And that's what creates the connection, and that's what creates relationships. So I don't know. The other question was, what are some things that I've gone through that I've had to push through? Right?
Yeah. Just anything, like, you know, whether it's just that, I mean, like that was perfect, but I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff that, you know, you've
Oh,
had
yeah.
to go through
Yeah.
in life with this business, or even when you just, you know, when you first started and you were in college and you were working that job and all of those things. I mean, like just having that no excuses attitude and showing up and being self-disciplined for yourself every day, and not relying on other people's energy to push forward in your business. You know, like this is on you, and I know that you do have that attitude just from watching you.
If there's anything that I've learned, y'all, is that this business will always be here if you choose to have it here. And I'll just be real. Like I had last month was the worst month in my entire business. Like you want to talk about breakdown, and obviously no one would know that because other than my personal team, because I'm very vulnerable with them. But in that moment, I had over like 20 people leave in a whole leg for another company, and I mean like my best friends, like best friends over a year and a half, and they turned on me and called me unchristian. And I mean, it was a spiritual attack. It wasn't even, oh, you found a new opportunity. It was like hard. And I mean, I had to seriously sit down and be like, Jordan, who are you? And like, are you the things people are saying, or are you, you know, what Christ tells you? And it was hard. It was very, very hard. And I had a moment where I was like, how do I even go from this? Like, these were leaders, diamonds on my team. Like, I was so, so upset. And, you know, so crazy is like, God has a way of doing things in your life when you don't know you need it. And I have not, I know this is recorded, so I have to be kind of careful. I had not promoted to pres yet. And I was asking God every day why. I was like, what is going on? And, you know, I did not realize how invested I was in some certain situations on my team where he was distracting me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't who I truly am. Like, I was like becoming this, like, I was becoming a therapist. I was becoming a mediator between team members. Like, and I'm being real with you guys because this stuff happens. It's a business with a bunch of women. Like, it happens. And sometimes you're going to go through stuff that completely shakes you. And it shook me. But you know what's so crazy is like my team right now is the best it's ever been. We've had the most enrollments. It's been a completely new community and environment of empowerment. And like, I didn't know that's what I needed at the time. And I was very angry and I was upset. But in that time frame, I had a choice of, was I going to sit? I literally was so depressed. I was crying every day. Like, you can ask my uplines, like I was calling them, they sent me flowers. Like, you would have thought someone died in my life. Like, I'm very emotional. I'm very yellow. I cry at the voice. So you can only imagine when someone like tests me or tells me I'm a bad person, I'm like weeping. But I'm just saying, like, I had a really hard time and I was like, you know, I have a choice. Like, that was hard for me. That might not have been so hard for some of you guys. You've been like, peace out, bye. But it was hard for me and I had a choice. Like, was I going to sit here and let my team see me like that and be so distraught and not work my business? No, because I have stuff I got to do. Like, I had to work through it and I got through it. And now I'm like freaking hype. I'm like, oh, that was last month. Like, that was old news. Like, let's go, you know? And I've had several situations like that in my business where I was working 2 jobs. Like, you know, what's crazy, y'all, is I actually joined this business. I picked up a second job at a daycare. And whenever I was promoting to Emerald, I don't know what the heck I was doing. Clearly I had no guidance, but I joined college at 3 different campuses. So I was in 3 colleges. Like, I don't know.
You're so funny.
I was like, this is a great idea. So I literally was a plasma technician. So I'd go to work, stick people. I was at a daycare. And then I would go to 3 different colleges in one day and then come home and work this business. And like, literally it'd be 5:30 to 9, like 6 to 9 at the daycare, go to college at one campus, go to another college at one campus, I say stick people, I know. Well, a lot of people don't understand what phlebotomy is.
Technician, stick people, go to college.
And I was actually really good at it, but I'm like, this is not for me. Like, I threw up my first day because I had to look at people's plasma. I'm like, God, why did you bring me here? This is disgusting. But anyways, like, I was crazy busy. And then I had on people on top of that telling me that I was dumb for doing this. And I was like, if you only freaking knew what I was doing all day. Like, I am hustling and I have $12.63 in my bank account. Like, don't freaking tell me I'm dumb. Like, I'm trying to make a life for myself, you know, and it was hard. I had people, they're like, you got wraps in your purse? I'm like, be what I do. Like one. You have to just get over that crap because it's going to happen. It will happen at one point, whether it's intentional or not. But what's crazy, y'all, is that in that midst of just chaos and like people judging me, because that was in the first year of my business, that's when I went Emerald and Diamond, and I quit my job at Diamond. And then everybody was like, we're so proud of you. I'm like, oh, really? Now you're proud? Like, but you know, at the same time, like I was tested. And if you're not being tested, you're not being loud enough. That's what I truly believe. If you're getting no criticism at all, you're not truly being loud enough. Because if I wish that it didn't have to be a true statement, but it's so true because y'all, you're not reaching enough people because you will have people who don't agree with you, you know? And so for me, when people reach out and they're like that, like, I'm like, sorry, like this is what I'm doing. And if you don't want to, that's okay too. But you have to have that no excuse, and you have to have enough confidence in what you're doing. And sometimes that just means you need to be more educated on what you're doing. I used to freak out when people were like, you're in a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, am I? Like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But I'm like, am I? Because I don't know. But I was like, I had so much pride that I didn't want to like stand up for myself. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much. Bye. But now I'm like, I know that I'm not, because I educated myself. And so any hardship that you go through, you probably either just need to get a little bit more educated on the situation if you are feeling like you're failing in those areas, or just gain that confidence to believe in what you're doing. So.
Wow. You just have so many good perspectives and outlooks on so many different situations. And I feel like you're just so wise beyond your years, and everything that you have gone through is like leading you to bigger and greater things. I watched, and I knew what happened to you last month, and I watched you on social media, and like you would have never known what you were going through. And like hearing you say it to me here tonight as well, you know, saying, you know, I was crying every single day. I was calling my team. They sent me flowers. Like, you would have never known how hard you took what happened through your social media, because you continued to show up every single day. You were still, you know, excited and hyped up in your stories, and you were still enrolling, and you were just still acting like, you know, you were living your best life, even though times got tough. And I think that this business definitely helps us get through those tougher times, because we are always constantly surrounded by uplifting and empowering people.
Well, can I tell you guys something too? Like, I know life gets hard, and I actually haven't had any major life happen to me in this business other than emotional and like a spiritual battle within myself. But I told y'all in the beginning of my story, I lost my father, you know, to cancer, and I had to go to work a week after, y'all. And like and my mom had to go back to work. Like, it was the weirdest thing to watch, because like it didn't seem right. Like, I was like nauseous at the thought of it, you know, and I had to go back to work, and you have to act out. For one, I was in childcare at the time. And so I had to go in and be around a bunch of 3-year-olds. I had 33-year-olds in my classroom. I had an assistant who was brand new, who literally was just now starting my classroom. And I had just lost my dad. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is crazy. Like, like physically and emotionally, I had to go to the bathroom at least 4 times a day just to release. And it's like, people deal with that every day. They have to go through stuff like that and like put a brave face on. And like, you have 2 options. Like, yeah, I could have just shut off and turned off social media because I needed time for myself. But thank goodness that like I can still do this. And when life does happen to me, I can still be at home because of this. But if you turn this off every time you have a bad day or a bad situation in life, you won't be able to rely on this when it does happen. You know what I mean? Like, you have to continue to work this even when things happen in your life, even when things happen within your team, because if you consistently walk away every time, you're not going to be able to build something strong enough to hold you up when something major does happen. Mm-hmm. And so I think even in that midst of like going through life and seeing what that was like to have to go to a job, when things happen in my life now, I'm like, I will never not work my business, because I know a death will come. I know a bad, horrible, tragic event will come because that's life. And I want to be so secure in my business that like I will be able to be present where I need to be, you know? And so like you have to prepare yourself for that. And being at a corporate America job and having to go through that will keep me away from corporate America for the rest of my life because it was traumatizing. I was like, this is terrible, you know? And so you just gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
I'm just like out beyond words right now that you just brought any of that up. And the fact that I just out of the blue asked you to come here tonight and speak on this, because everything you just said is everything that I just went through this past month in October. Like I have never once taken a day off in this business in the 5 years that I have been here. I have shown up and worked every single day. When I went through the separation with my kid's father, I showed up and I worked every single day, acted like there was nothing wrong. You know, every single day I showed up for my business and, you know, just acted tough. And this past month in October, I had that tragic life happen. And because I showed up every single day and was consistent every single day, my business is still here. My business is still flourishing. My team is still booming because I showed up for 5 years straight. And when tragedy happened, and I'm not ready to talk about what happened and what I went through with everybody yet, but I was able to be present in those moments that I needed to be. And I didn't have to, you know, walk into a 9 to 5 and continue to try to put on that happy face when I couldn't. Yeah. And I mean, I'm just blown away by, you know, God and the universe and everything going in the direction that it's supposed to right now. Like I said, with asking you to come here tonight, I had no idea you were going to say any of that.
And I feel like it doesn't justify. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just so evident that, you know, everything happens in the way it's supposed to. And yeah, just.
I was going to say too, like, I'm not saying, because like I know everyone's life is different. You know, like you went through your tragedy after 5 years in this business, and some people go through their tragedy 2 months in this business, you know? And so something that I've learned is like, you really have to ask yourself, like, you're in this business for the long haul. You're not in this business to make your next month's check. If you're only in here and doing this business for your next month's check, like you have to really root yourself in this business because like you're hearing Hannah's story. She was able to take whatever time she needed and still get a consistent income. And like corporate America doesn't give you that. I was proof of that.
Right. Like I didn't even have to worry. And I said that to somebody I was talking about during all this. I was like, you know, it's crazy to me that I feel like I haven't lifted a finger or even been able to look at my phone, but I just got an email that said I have a, you know, 5-figure paycheck being deposited into my bank account.
Exactly.
Not have to go to anybody and be like, by the way, I can't show up today. Didn't have to ask for any time off from anybody. Like it was me on my terms because I've built this, you know? Anyways, continue. Sorry.
And that's what I'm saying is like, you really have to ask yourself, you know, what are you doing this for? Because I will say like my mom has had a lot of health issues and I know like, I'm not going to go into it because it will make me cry, but like the day that I live in a world without my mom will be really hard. And I always say, I'm like, you know what, like God, I really truly know that like God gave me this because if I worked at any other profession, I would lose that job for my mom in a heartbeat. I would, if they told me in a second that I couldn't have time off, if I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do for her and whatever, because like she just had a lot of health issues even this past year. You know, it's like if I would walk away. I would have no life. I would have no home. I would let my car get repoed. I would legit give up everything to show up for her. And so I look at this and I'm like, I will never have to be challenged with that. Like I am going to be able to still have a residual income whenever that happens. And I feel like that's kind of morbid, but at the same time, like that's life. And if you kind of live in a world that you think nothing bad happens to you, that's when you get hit the hardest. But I don't know, y'all, like if you are working this business just for that extra $500, like, yes, that is a good start. But you got to ask yourself, like, I want all of you guys to envision a 10,000 plus check in your bank account. Y'all, I crapped my pants. Like not literally, but I never forget. I feel like I need to say that because some people might take me seriously, but I'll never forget even opening my first deal. And I just want to say, I made $10,000 as a double. Don't you think you need to be triple? I made $10,000 as a double. So don't think you have to be a certain rank to earn this kind of income. You know, you just start hustling. But I'll never forget opening up that check and I was like, this is real. Like, what? And I didn't even touch the money for like 2 days because I was like, is it still there? Like, what is this? And so you really have to, this is where self-development comes in. You have to really challenge yourself and be like, I'm freaking worthy of this. And not only, I made a post today talking about the 9 things that It Works has taught me. It's not about the money that gets deposited. It's what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes, pay your bills. You cannot give until you take care of yourself and become debt free. And so that's the first thing you need to do. But like, God will bless, you know, those in huge ways because you can bless others in huge ways, you know, and like, that's what it's really all about. And so really challenge yourself to stop thinking so small. Like I'm processing that I'm allowed to make 20 grand a month. Like that's what I made at the daycare in 1 year. So I'm still processing some mind shift limitations that I have on myself, but you really have to challenge yourself and being like, I am worth this. And when you hit that moment where you're like, holy crap, I'm going to do it. You are unstoppable. And that's really what it's all about. It's just you believing it. I tell my team, you can say you're going to do something all day, but if you don't believe it, you might as well just erase the thought, because if you can't say, oh, I'm going diamond, I'm going to do it. And then you lay in bed at night and you're like, not even a Ruby, I have no team, no one's working, and you're negative. Like, and you don't truly think it's going to happen. You have to believe it. You have to you have to connect your mind to your heart, and you have to make both of those align. And I promise you, you will hit any rank that you want to hit in this business. And so don't even know where I was going with that, but
no, I love it. It was so perfect. Everything you say has so much insight and meaning behind it. And you're just so passionate. And I cannot wait to celebrate you, not even at presidential, but as ambassador, because I know that's where you're headed. You're going to be in that top 10 because just your heart is in the right place. Your mind is in the right place as well. So thank you so much for hopping on last minute here for us today. This was amazing. I mean, you blew my mind so many times. And it was perfect to have you on tonight to kind of just like jumpstart and kick me back into gear and be like, Hannah, no excuses. Come on. Like we are here for the long haul. So
don't give up on yourself, y'all. Like I think about how short life is. I listen to a lot of Gary Vee, and I love him because he tells me, like he talks to me. He's talking right to me. He says all the time, like, if you're in your 40s, like you're still young, like, you know, and I love that because, you know, life is so short, and half the time, like my mom is my biggest why, but her mindset, like she works at Walmart, she's a manager there. And like, she literally was told that she might lose her job after 25 years of being there. And I have been telling her, because she's like, oh, she literally told me to put stuff on my resume. And I was like, where's this resume going? Like, who am I giving my resume to? Because I'm not going anywhere. But it's crazy to me because she thinks that her life is pretty much already done. You know, and I see myself I'm like, I'm so freaking young. Like the amount of time I have to do all the things, but at the same time, I have to remember like life is so short and you're not promised tomorrow. So why aren't you going all in on what you want? Why aren't you being the loudest person in your group about your goals? I've inspired more of my friends that aren't in this company to pursue the things that they want, and watching them be badasses at some things that I never even thought that they were capable of, because I said I wanted to make $15,000 a month. Me claiming a money goal allowed one of my friends to decide to start her blog. You know, she's like, hearing you say that was just like, why am I not being loud? You know, it's like, you don't know who's listening, and you can inspire so many people. So stop wasting every day that you have on this earth doing the mediocre things whenever you have something dangling right in front of you to literally change not only your life, but hundreds more, and have more than you've ever imagined. Like, don't waste another day. It's just crazy to me why you wouldn't go all in and do all of the things and be as loud as possible, you know? So
absolutely. I agree 110%. Again, thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. And we're chasing ambassador together, girls.
Heck yes, girl. Y'all
All
got it.
right. Well, have an amazing night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.